Tenkyou no Alderamin, or Alderamin on the Sky, was an incredible first episode. Straight away, it dragged me in with that little hint of what's to come. I mean, Ikuta was being serious there. There was that little message about the whole country not having a future thing. And then they dropped us into the opening. And the opening was incredible. Because, I mean, this anime was already slightly reminding me from its premise of Gate. And then they give us that opening, which is straight up the same singers of Gate. And it just looks goddamn gorgeous. You see the characters with their weapons flipping around doing crazy shit. Oh man, it looks really good. I was really impressed. So the animation on this is incredible. As we knew it would be because it was Madhouse. That first song was awesome. And yeah, that's a good way to drag me into this series. And then they really introduce us to the two main characters, Yatori and Ikuta. Yatori being this perfect, pampered princess with red hair who's also deadly with blades. And Ikuta being quite the opposite. I mean, he clearly doesn't come from a high family. And he's just chilling, laying around. Kind of reminds me of Link from Skyward Sword. I mean, not just in his style of being super lazy and just wanting to sleep, but also in the way that he's drawn. Like, he's got those long sideburns. He's got the really chiseled jaw. Character designs in this are greatness. Especially for him and her. And a couple of the other girls, not so much for the other two guys. Although I did like the fact that the Tetorichi guy is carrying a bit of extra weight, because that's rare in anime, and that was cool to see. And he actually seems like an alright person so far. I mean, this first episode was damn good at introducing everyone. They all just met up in the cabin, they were going for this exam thing, and everybody just introduced themselves properly. It took its time on that. It was really nice. And they've introduced us to this basic idea of these spirits that they have. I mean, they've introduced themselves and then they've all shown off their spirits as well. Some of them, like, Hado introduced herself and then pulled out, like, a water spirit. Yatori had this, like, a fire spirit. And then we had Ikuta, who seems to have a light spirit. I mean, he didn't introduce his spirit or even try to give out his name. But we see him dive into the water at one point and his spirit lights up with giant lights, so I'm guessing it's light. That begs the question, are they darkness spirits? Because I mean, there were wind spirits, but if there's a light spirit, surely there's darkness spirits out there, and if so, I really want to see them. But anyway, that was really good. They introduced each other really well, and then the ship started to sink, we got our call to action, and we got to see what kind of character Ikuta really is. Because I mean, at the point where this little girl falls into the water, he just can't help it. It could have been so easy for him to just give up on the girl. Nobody else seemed to be looking towards the idea of jumping in and saving her. But he did. He stripped off his shirt, he got his light spirit to make a spotlight, and he found her and saved her. And that was kind of adorable and really well animated again, I must say. The way Madhouse deals with light in this anime so far has been incredible. When his light spirit lit up, it looked really good. The only other studio that I know that can do animation that well with light and with like visual effects is Ufotable. But not just that, but when he was swimming down through the light, it looked fantastic with the shading. And even before that, when he was relaxing on his little hammock and there was just little spots of light coming down on him. Again, it looked really good. They're very good at handling light in this one. I mean, that point, it skips forward about 2 days and we find them on this deserted island, or so it seems. But it's not. They find out that they're actually behind enemy territory. Which is when shit gets real. I mean, they also find out the little girl that Ikuta saved is the princess of the country which they've just left. Or just accidentally left. They shouldn't be that far east. They're currently in enemy territory. They need to get through a goddamn border to get back west. And obviously that ain't happening when they've got the princess from the western country. There's no way this eastern country, and yes, I don't remember their names yet, is going to let them just pass through. And again, at this point, we get to see some real character development, or at this point, I guess, just character enforcement, showing us what kind of characters we have. Where the princess steps up and says there's no way she's going to be captured. Ikuta instantly tells her to shut the fuck up. I mean, it seems like Ikuta has some real problem with the royal family and imperial and warfare in general, which begs the question why he was even training to be a military officer. But yeah, he freaks out quite a bit, says some things he probably shouldn't, because it sounds like he's suggesting that other Imperials have been killed in the past, but nonetheless, he thinks they're all just bitches and whiners, and that was a good moment for him, man. And then we also got to see a bit of who Yatori is, because even though she's highborn and she seems like she'd be from a completely different social situation from Ikuta. She seems really chummy with him, and she genuinely looks after and cares for him. But at this point, she slams him head face into the ground and makes sure he knows he is talking way the fuck out of line to royalty. So that was a great moment, and then they go off and just have a little chat and bro out again, and man, I don't know what's up with Ikuta. He's in a bad mood most of the time. He seems like a fun character. He's so chill. He's into chasing skirts and, you know, relaxing. He's definitely reminding me a little bit of the main guy from Gate. I mean, the main guy from Gate never chased girls, but he definitely never wanted to be thrusted into the war. He wanted to just have a nice, relaxing, cushy job. Ikuta's the same kind of way, but because of how well he's handling this situation of saving the princess and looking after the people on the island, and being that self-sacrificing kind of dude, I mean, Jesus, he did a lot this episode. It's clear that that's going to be what thrusts him into this war and makes him a high-ranking officer, even though he isn't actually bothered to do it. He's a very intelligent person, he's just very lazy. So I really liked this first episode. We haven't seen much from the side characters just yet. We had that moment of the princess trying to help everyone, showing that she does care about the little people, air quotes, but nobody would even let her help except for eventually Ikuta, because Ikuta don't care about no social status. So I'm sure this princess is completely going to fall in love with him after he saved her life and then treated her like a normal person. And then right at the end, that cliffhanger, man, when the Eastern Kingdom had found the princess and Ikuta just walks out in front of them like, yo, guys, it's fine, I'm here. I have no idea what his plan is there, but I'm sure he has a plan and it's got to be brilliant no matter what it is. If he does just destroy them in a fight, I would be really disappointed. I want to see him use his mind, because judging from the opening, we see him like standing on top of a chessboard. I imagine he's going to be an incredibly intelligent character, and that's going to be his main weapon rather than actual brute strength himself. Whereas now he's surrounded by people with a lot of strength, like a lot of highborn nobles. He's going to be commanding them. That's going to be the kind of unit they have. And that would be fantastic to me. But yeah, as for the other characters, we only got really a lot of information about Haro. We got a bit about her family and how she wants to be a nurse, how cute and perfect waifu material she is. The rest of them, you know, we got little tiny bits about. We found out that the Tetorichi guy, who's carrying a bit of extra weight, the blonde guy, comes from a slightly noble family, but nowhere near as big as the other two. So he's actually got a bit of a problem with that. And then we had the Yatori chick, who's from a highborn family, and Toei as well, who's similar. They're both quite noble. I like how Yatori actually interacts with Ikuta. She seems to lead the others when Ikuta's being a dingus. I mean, they were all very smart about this. They even like set up perimeter alarms and shit, which woke them all up, and man, they are pretty goddamn battle ready. I like these kids so far. They're not just going to be a bunch of weaklings. Especially not these two, Toei and Yatori, because they seem ready for this shit. As soon as they woke up, she had her swords around her and he had his gun ready. It looked like he put his wind spirit into the gun. Maybe they use wind elemental magic instead of like bullet powder. That would be sick. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It really dragged me in. I'm liking all the characters. I'm liking the setting. I think I'm really going to like Ikuta as long as he doesn't like become overpowered. If he just takes on all of those enemy soldiers by himself, I'll be really disappointed. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to use his mind and he's going to be an interesting character. So yeah, definitely a great first episode. It drew me in. Let me know you guys' thoughts on the comment section below. What you think of the characters, what you think of the story so far. And if you like this review, then wreck that like button like you mean it. Subscribe if you haven't already to see more. And I will see you guys next time.